Good afternoon. So, it's currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what to do with myself. I've got the day off work today. So, what I have decided to do is I was very fortunate enough that my dad, over Christmas, has bought me the new, if I can get it out of my pocket, DJI Neo. I've always had an interest in flying drones and trying to get some decent footage, and plus with this one it can follow me, so if I'm going for runs and stuff trying to make content, it can actually just follow me as I run, and it's really lightweight. But what I'm going to do today, I'm going to go over to Osmotherley, the reservoir, fly the drone about, hopefully I don't lose it in the reservoir, and then we're going to go to the gym. I'm going to bring you along with me. So yeah, let's get in the car, get to Osmotherley. Not forgetting, of course, I've got to take this with me. Got to take the pre-workout with me, so I get the sickest back pump ever. We've just stopped off to get some fuel, some protein, and with Monzo I get a free sausage roll every week, so I got a free sausage roll as well. So we've just arrived at Osmotherley. I've just realised that this isn't on. There we go. Oh, it's at 10% battery, so we're not going to use it for much longer. But we just arrived at Osmotherley. I'm just going to get out the car now, get the drone sorted, and show you around. This is like one of my favourite places round here. It's only like 10-20 minutes away, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a decent bit of sun coming out, so I think the reservoir will look awesome. Fingers crossed I don't lose this drone in the reservoir. The plan is to go somewhere up there to launch a drone over the top and then walk around it, try out the follow me mode on the drone. But it's starting to look bloody beautiful over there. So yeah, I think we're gonna have a try and walk over to the top and go from there. Tell you what though, it's a bit of a frosty morning, afternoon even, but it looks bloody beautiful. So peaceful. So I think I found a path up, but we do have to cross when the gimbal gets back to me. This little stream. Route selection is key. That's not the way to get across though. If I had my boots I'd just get amongst it, but I stupidly decided to wear my ONs today. Can we cross here? Risk it for a biscuit? Maybe. Fucking hell. Big risk. If I fall over now and break this camera, I will not be impressed. Hey! There we go. And I did see the path. Is it back there? Might be slightly back here. But if I can just get behind the trees and get the drone up, I think it looks sick. Now, I'm by no means an amazing videographer, but I have ideas that come into my head and I roll with it. So let's see if I can find... is this the path up? I think this is the path up. It's steep as fuck, but because it's been frosty, we can just get amongst it because the ground is solid in parts. Whoa, which also means it's slippy. But yeah, we'll get to the top. This is going to look sick. I just know it's going to look sick. I always get Otterburn vibes when I'm up here, but the views are insane. It's a good job I started doing cardio now. Look at that. This place is just stunning, and I hope the footage that I just shot there comes out as good as I hoped, because it looked bloody awesome on the camera. But I just love coming down here just because of how nice it is, really, especially on a cold morning like this. I keep saying morning, it's the afternoon. It's very frosty as well. But sometimes, and I know people out there feel the same way, like when I'm sat on my house on my own, you know, especially when I don't have my daughter, it's a very quiet, lonely sort of feeling. So I just like to get out. I'm going to go to the gym soon, hopefully get some footage at the gym for you, and then I'll discuss my Hyrox plan and how I'm going to go about my training. I just wanted to come out and give the drone a good go first. But like I said in my previous YouTube video, the one about the end of 2024, this year's for me is all about growth, challenges, pushing yourself. And that's why I've set the challenge of a Hyrox now. I know people out there do get a lot of stick. It's like when CrossFit first became a big thing and everyone was taking the piss out of people for doing CrossFit. But it does look like a good laugh. I'm doing it with my mate Ryan, so my first one's going to be doubles. And I suppose the reason I've picked doubles, I mean, I know it's about pushing yourself, whatever, but doing something like that, it's just more fun doing it with someone, especially someone that's got a good mindset like you, like-minded mindset. If there's a lot I've learned over the past couple of years, it's definitely surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I've had to make a few hard decisions in this past year, of which I'm proud of, because the old me wouldn't have done it. They would have just stayed where they are and just remained unhappy, really, and just sucked it up. For example, like with the whole DPD shenanigans, fuck me, I've not been that unhappy in so long. And I could have sat there, you know, it was just covering my bills. I had a little bit of money left over for when I wanted to do stuff. But it properly, mentally, physically wore me down. Being out the house from 6:30 in the morning, not getting home till, you know, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And what happened multiple times was getting home at fucking between 10 and 11 when other drivers needed help. And it just wore me down, especially when you have to be back in the next day for 7, 7:30. Broke me down. And it got to the point where I wasn't going in for 7:30, which is fine. I was still getting out the door and everything was getting delivered on time. But earlier you get in theory, the earlier you get out, but it's not always the case. But then I just started to realise I was getting lazy. I couldn't be bothered getting up. Snooze the alarm. I can't feel my fingers. Until like last safe moment. You know. And when I started noticing these things, it made me understand even more so like how unhappy I was. Hence why I quit. Amongst a lot of other reasons. You know, but I've spoken about that enough. I don't need to dwell on it. And then other decisions such as certain positions with certain people, how I felt like that was impacting me. And again, I decided to make a change. And sometimes the hardest decisions, they are the best decisions to make. But you just don't realise it at the time, you know? So if you are stuck in a position at the minute where you feel like you're stuck, unhappy, try and change it. What's the worst that can happen? Like, yeah, okay, fine. My decisions came with financial struggle, heartbreak. Like, it didn't, just because I made the hard decisions, it didn't mean everything else became easier, did it? Fuck. But it just means you've got to work on it. And sometimes just sitting there taking the easy route, long term, it's not the best thing to do whatsoever at all. Sometimes you've got to push yourself and see what you're capable of, and that's exactly what I want this year to be about. Seeing how far I'm trying to pick a path at the same time whilst I was talking. Try and find my path, and I feel like I've kind of found it. You know, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, leaving the house for 1:15 to get there for the 6 o'clock class for F45. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best at going to bed, so I'm tired when I first wake up, but I'm excited to get there and take the class. I fucking love it. And if I hadn't have quit DPD, if I haven't made that hard decision of knowing that it's going to impact me financially, I wouldn't have been in F45. Yes, I was jobless for a couple of months. Yes, I didn't have an income for a couple of months. But I ended up landing somewhere where I fucking love. And it's helping me, and it's helped give me a boost of what I need to do, such as like social media, videos, content. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I'm currently walking through the woods. So we're going to get out to the reservoir now. I just came down with the top of that little hill over there where I was recording that footage. Looked fucking awesome. So yeah, let's go look at the reservoir. Walk around, go back, take a pre, and then go train back. That's the plan. Half the reservoir is still frozen. What a view. Hear that noise of the kids throwing the stones, it sounds wicked. Let's see what it looks like on the drone. I want to get a stone because I want to see if you can hear it on the camera. Such a cool noise, isn't it? Let's have a look, see if you can hear it. There's some kids over there throwing the stones, it's class. Took me ages to get to balance there. Anyway, just been around Osmotherly, we've had a chat. Now it's time to get to the gym. I feel like this video might be slightly longer than my previous, but here's what it is. So we're going to go to the gym. I'll show you just a few clips from there. I'm not going to go through my whole session. Get home and talk about how I'm planning to train for Hyrox this year. Of course, we had to bring our Combat Fuel pre-workout. Oh, it's so good. I've got the stim-free version, so you don't get that itchiness, that massive kick. Excuse me. Because I have it with Monster anyway. So it's a 20-minute drive. That's why we've had it now. Give it time to kick in. Get there. A bit of a pull day. And then, yeah, let's talk about Hyrox. So, we're back. I mean, I say we're back. As you can see, it's really fucking dark outside. I had shit to do and I had to get some scran. There's something on the camera. I don't even know if that was on the screen. But yeah, so we're going to talk through my plan for Hyrox and how I'm going to train for it. So my plan when it comes to Hyrox is, like I've said in my previous video, I'm not sat here saying I'm going to be a podium guy, but I do want to go there and give it my all. That's all you really can do. I've got around about 12 weeks to prepare, which is more than enough time, I would say. So we're going to talk through my little plan for training. I still want to be doing some sort of bodybuilding stuff in there because that is like my true passion. I enjoy it. But we need to make sure we're training specifically. I always say it in my videos on Instagram and TikTok. When you've got a goal in mind, it needs to be specific and tailored towards your goal. Check out this oversized jumper from Combat Fuel, by the way. Anywho, so we're going to talk through the different phases I'm going to be doing. So phase 1, I'm calling the foundation phase. Now, I've been out the game of functional fitness for a while. Yes, I have done CrossFit. Yes, I've done functional fitness before, but I've not done it for a very long time. So the first 3 weeks will be a foundation phase. We're then going to go into a build phase, which is going to be weeks 4 to 6, phase 2. Phase 3 being peak. This is where it's probably going to be the most intense, where I'll be working at a high RPE, rate of perceived exertion, where we do some solid buildings. That'll be weeks 7 to 9. And then we're going to go into the final phase, which will be like a maintenance phase, because we'll be slowly approaching Hyrox between weeks 10 to 12. So week 10 will probably still be quite an intense week. 11 will be the maintenance phase. 12 will be kind of like, I suppose it'd be kind of a maintenance phase as well, easing in to getting to Hyrox. That's getting booked, as in Hyrox is getting booked in the next couple of days. I can't wait. But yeah, let's go into this plan in more depth. So I know I can work out probably around about 5 times a week. I have my daughter on week 1, I'll have my daughter for 2 nights. Week 2, I'll have her for 5 nights. So I've got to work around that. Now, a lot of this I can do whilst I've got her, because I'm fortunate enough that I've got the F45 gym and I can train out of that, and she can be there. And it's safe and sound. So this is going to be kind of my 5-day split. The reason I've not put it down on days is because it purely depends on the days I can train. So day 1 is going to be running and strength, but it's going to be endurance based. Day 2 is going to be a strength focus workout, but with some bodybuilding elements to it. Day 3 will be running endurance, but this is going to be high intensity. Day 4, upper body strength and bodybuilding, but they overlap really. Day 5 will be a long run plus some recovery, so that'll be like stretching, mobility. I do apologise, I do have a bit of a cold. And then day 6 and 7. Day 7 will be a full rest day, and day 6 will be an optional active recovery day. Whether this is going for, could be a walk, could be a light swim, something along those lines, because rest is just as important as the workout. So we'll give you an example of the training throughout each phase. Where are we? So for example, let's look at a running endurance high intensity. So the main workout will be intervals. This is a 5 by 800 meters, and we're looking at being at quite a quick pace. Not quite 100%, but it's going to be 80%, so RPE 8. When we talk about RPE, rate of perceived exertion, I can never really say that. It's basically an effort level. 10 being 100%, 1 being like 10%, which is not really where we're going to be unless we're doing mobility or anything like that. So it'll be 5 times 800 meters. We'll have about 2 to 3 minutes rest between each interval. And then we'll move on to the second part, where hair in my mouth, which will be something along the lines of, so 3 rounds, ski erg, 500 meters, wall balls, 20 reps with a 6 kilo ball, push-ups, 3 max reps, and kettlebell swings 12 to 15 reps 3 times. That's just one example of a workout. Now, clearly, these will change as we go along. Like, for example, if we look at a similar sort of workout in the build phase, it'll be 5 times 1K intervals. And then the strength circuit I've got on there, 4 rounds, sled push, 100 meters, rowing, 500 meters, walking lunges with a 20 kilo sandbag, and some core work. Some of these won't take particularly long. Now, the 5 1K intervals, 5 times 1K intervals, these will obviously take some time. But where I can throw in, so if you look here for a strength and bodybuilding focus, this is like a legs and back workout hypertrophy. So deadlifts 5 by 6 to 8, barbell squats 5 times 8 to 12. Now, that is quite CNS heavy, central nervous system heavy, but with the squats, I'll be doing a lighter weight, seeing as we are building for that hypertrophy, like muscular endurance. Sandbag lunges, dumbbell rows, and some core work. Now, if I do have the time, because again, a session like that won't take particularly long, I'll just throw in some stuff that I want to do. That's just because I like the bodybuilding style of workout. And then if we look at when we get to, so we'll give you an example. So these are circuits and sessions that I will be doing. But right now I've only really planned like one session. So I will be using this as my foundation, as my program. And as the weeks go on, maybe I'll tailor it slightly. So if you look at peak week, for example, so we've got another running and strength one. So that's 6 times 1K intervals, but this is going to be working at 90%, 3-minute rest in between, with a strength circuit, 4 rounds, sled push, 120 meters, 152 kilos, 600 meter row, walking lunges, 20 kilo sandbag, 15 reps a leg, and some core work at the end. I hope this gives you some insight. I mean, I'm 7 minutes, 20 seconds into explaining this. But yeah, that's essentially how I'm going to break it down. And these are some of the workouts that I will be doing. But I feel like this is quite a good plan to follow. Like I said, so in the foundation phase, that's weeks 1 to 3. We've got the build phase, which is 4 to 6. The peak weeks, which is 7 to 9. Then 10 to 12 will be kind of maintenance to ensure that because we don't want to be working at such an intensity where we are increasing that risk of injury. That's why I need to ensure, and I'm very bad at it, that I stick to my mobility and my stretching as well, because I think we're all very bad for that. But yeah, so it'll be more of a maintenance phase from weeks 10 to 12 as we're getting closer to the Hyrox. But I am very excited to see what happens, see how this training goes. I've never done a Hyrox before. I understand the elements that are within it and where I need to work, but I also understand my weaknesses. I know that it's my running that will let me down, and 50% of Hyrox is running. That's why a main focus for me will be on the running. That's why I've got a lot of interval work. That's why I've got a lot of steady states in there as well. But I will probably be doing 1 long run a week, mixed in with different various types of running, whether that be interval running, whether it's fartlek training, to build my engine. So it is interesting. Now people out there could say, why don't you just get a coach? Why don't you speak to people that have done it before? So I have spoken to people that have done it before. I don't know too many people that have done it though. And why won't I pay for a coach? Because I can't fucking afford it for some of the price that people charge. But that's fine. But I'm doing this for me. I'm not about doing this for the clout, doing this for socials to be like Hyrox finisher 2025. No, it's not about that. This is about me pushing myself outside my comfort zone and doing something new. It also tests my ability as a coach to see if I can coach other people to do a Hyrox. When I look at the Hyrox as a whole, it kind of is just like one big army circuit. It's not going to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. That's what I keep saying to myself in my head, even though I know it'll be difficult. And it's one of those things where you can either cruise or you can go for it. And I want to go for it. And it will be hard in that sense because I'm going to be given 100%. But it's not the most difficult task that I've ever had to do in my life. This is going to be about mindset. This is going to be about the consistency of my training, my diet, and keeping it there. Mindset is key when it comes to this. If you want a copy of this, please just drop a comment down below. I can send you across a copy of this plan. I don't mind doing that. Free as well, because if you've got this far, fair play to you. Make sure you smash that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button to follow this journey along to my first ever Hyrox. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one.